There's only one 3D Mario game where Nintendo nailed the act of spinning. No, I'm not talking about waggling a Wiimote. And don't get me started on that double spin nonsense. I don't even want to look at you. Okay, to Mario 64's credit, that slow falling spin after bouncing on something is pretty nice. Anyway, Super Mario Sunshine has the perfect spin jump, and it often goes underappreciated. If you're familiar with Sunshine speedrunning in some capacity, you've probably heard terms thrown around like buffered spin, or momentum spin, or frame perfect spin. Well, in this video, I'll explain what all of those mean, and more, in dizzying levels of detail. According to Nintendo's official instruction book, a spin jump is performed by doing a quick, full rotation on the control stick followed by an A press. Simple enough. Despite their insistence on rotating the stick in a counterclockwise direction, clockwise works all the same. There's no advantage either way, and people's preference seems mostly random with a slight counterclockwise trend. Use whichever way feels more comfortable to you. But reminder that counterclockwise is canon, and I'll quietly judge you for spinning clockwise. They also mention a technique called the sprinkler spray. By spinning the control stick and holding the R trigger, Mario will become sprinkler. But wait a second, is a full 360 degrees on the control stick truly necessary? In this clip, I'm only spinning the stick like 3/4 of the way and it works just fine. Let's take a closer look. What is the minimum control stick movement required for a spin jump to work? 3/4? 5/8? 9/16? The truth is, all you really need is a single downward motion. But that's absurd. Everyone knows that would result in a side flip, not a spin jump. Well, check this out. Let's break down what just happened step by step. I start by holding down on the control stick. Then the magic begins when the L trigger comes into play. Whenever Mario is on the ground, a full digital L press will center the camera behind him. Every time you center the camera, the direction that down causes Mario to face will change. By pressing the L trigger twice in quick succession while continuing to hold down, Mario will meet the rotation requirements for a spin jump. So the inputs are down, L, L, A, all pressed within roughly 1/3 of a second. Sure, doing this is completely pointless, but this was a long-winded way of showing how spin jumps don't only rely on control stick movement. What's equally as important is the change in direction that Mario's facing. So how does the game determine what qualifies as a spin put? That's the colloquial term for spin input. There are a few situations where the game checks your control stick movements on the previous 10 frames. This includes jumping, spraying, and every frame you're in a mid-air state where spinning could potentially happen at some point. The total area that your control stick can travel in is divided into quadrants. If the control stick touches every quadrant without hitting neutral during the 10-frame check, then a spin put is granted. Of course, this is also heavily affected by the direction the camera is facing. You see, the standard X pattern of quadrants only applies if the camera is facing a cardinal direction. Rotating the camera causes the quadrants to rotate along with it. So the question we should be asking is, what's the minimum amount of rotation required for a spin jump? Assuming you always begin your spin put from the top notch, and spin counterclockwise as Iwata intended, it can be as low as just over halfway by starting at the front of a quadrant and ending at the back of the last quadrant. The minimum could also be as much as 270 degrees, or in other words, what you should preheat your oven to before you oven some cold pizza. So we all know the standard spin jump, but here are a few simple alterations. To kick things off, we have the mid-air spin. Rotate the control stick while Mario is already airborne from a single jump, double jump, or jump from a body of water. This cannot be done from falling off a ledge or during a rollout, dive, or triple jump. By the same token, a triple jump can be performed with only 2 A presses by timing a jump out of a mid-air spin. Mid-air spins are useful in a pinch to gain a bit more distance off a jump, which is great for things like collecting blue coins in Corona Mountain. Next up is the grounded spin, which is derived from the sprinkler mentioned earlier. By tapping R after a spin put, Mario will remain spinning on the ground for a few seconds. This can be done with both the spray and hover nozzles. A grounded spin can still be executed while holding an object. The biggest flaw with grounded spins is that Mario can't perform them unless he has FLUDD on his back. Pressing A at any points during a grounded spin will result in a grounded spin jump. While it is situational, this is a fantastic beginner-friendly way to spin jump from a specific spot in any direction that you want, even completely vertically with nothing more than an A press. Now, it's not only helpful for noobs. Surprisingly, this type of spin jump has gotten some use in world record individual level strategies. In Sirena 2 Reds, a grounded spin jump is used to slip between these blocks after the 4th red coin. In Pinna 6 Reds, it's used for timing a spin jump into the final coin. In the summer of 2019, grounded spin jumps would escape the realm of obscurity with a much speedier version. This is the Beyblade. Discovered by Noki Doki, a Beyblade is nothing more than a grounded spin jump from a steep slope. During a grounded spin, Mario doesn't enter a sliding animation like he normally would. However, jumping from these slopes will transfer the speed at which you would have slid down directly into your spin jump. There's a few Beyblades in the Rico Harbor segments of any percents, but longer categories like 120 shines have even more. Now, this last variation is nothing glamorous, but out of the basic spins, it's by far the most useful and requires the most finesse. It's time we talk about landing spin jumps. In a standard spin jump, Mario's position is constantly influenced by the control stick whilst spin putting. This sacrifices a substantial amount of freedom in your movement since you're stuck winding up Mario like a top before doing anything. With a mid-air spin, your spin put has a negligible effect on Mario's positioning, though it's not actually considered a spin jump. So how do we get the best of both worlds? Well, a landing spin is essentially a spin put done in midair right before landing, jumping from that landing and having the midair spin put transfer into an actual spin jump. No messy wind-up necessary. Landing spins take some getting used to, even if you're already adept with spinning a control stick. One of the most common errors I see with anyone first learning Sunshine is with spin speed. Many new players try to spin the control stick as fast as humanly possible, but this can lead to some issues. If you spin too fast without developing the proper muscle memory, there's a good chance you'll miss a quadrant and drop the input entirely. Another common mistake is spinning the control stick too late. It's obvious when this happens because you'll end up with a jump into an immediate mid-air spin. Because you're rotating the control stick prior to landing, landing spin jumps are sometimes confused with something entirely different. A buffered spin jump. Listen, if you ever want to speedrun Super Mario Sunshine, this is your go-to. Your home run swing, your 1-2 punch, your bread and butter, your foundation upon which frames are saved and minute barriers are smashed. Once you master the buffered spin jump, it honestly feels like cheating. It's admittedly difficult to put into words the main purpose of buffered spin jumps, but here's what I came up with. A buffered spin jump will always allow you to achieve the distance of a running speed landing spin jump regardless of the circumstances. In other words, because what I just said might have made no sense, you can perform a buffered spin jump in literally any direction from a completely stationary position and it will still travel a remarkable distance. Whatever direction you hold at the end of your buffered spin put is the direction you'll go. Alternatively, the C-stick can be used to face the camera in the direction you want your spin jump to travel in. Buffered spin jumps are made possible by the priority of Mario's animations over the player's control stick inputs. Some of these animations are practically invisible, such as the most common thing to buffer spin jumps from, landing. Yes, landing. That's the animation. Right there. During the brief period that Mario is recovering from a landing, rotating the control stick won't cause him to walk in a circle as it normally would. Remember, a normal landing spin jump is done by spinning in the air and jumping the instant you land. A buffered landing spin jump is done by spinning while landing, holding the direction you intend to travel, then finally jumping. Another common thing to buffer spin jumps from is climbing a ledge. Whether you climb up slowly using the control stick or climb up quickly by pressing A spin put can be buffered either way. A couple uses for this include setting up windmill wall kicks in Bianco 2 and setting up honey skip. They're also a great recovery tool in case you accidentally ledge grab and intend on jumping somewhere else. Some less conventional animations include grabbing the air, grabbing an object, sidestepping, spraying, chuckster recovery, bonking, and taking damage. A momentum spin, distilled down to its most basic form, leaves us with the walking spin. Don't be fooled, this is no ordinary spin jump. By rotating the control stick at a slower, more controlled rate, Mario's walking speed is directly transferred into a spin jump. Well, technically it's running, not walking, but come on, that's not running. Now this is running. One of the many quirks that carried over from Mario 64 is how Mario interacts with ramps. A rollout, or front somersault, provides a decent amount of speed. Landing on a ramp after a rollout will transfer that speed into Mario's ground movement. This is where momentum spin jumps live up to their name. The momentum that Mario has built up from running can fully convert into a jump. Now, this basic form of momentum spin is surprisingly situational, with uses like the ending of Sirena 4 Secrets and damageless Pianta 3. Where momentum spinning has tremendous utility is when the power of momentum is granted instantly. Alright, so I might have gotten a little carried away with my introduction to buffered spins, because instant momentum spin jumps are arguably just as important. Much like a landing spin jump, an instant momentum spin jump cuts out the middleman of winding up Mario before jumping. At first glance, this maneuver seems impossible. How on earth do you squeeze an entire spin put into the practically invisible timing window between rolling out and jumping? The thing is, you don't. The control stick is spun before quickly pressing the A button twice to roll out, then immediately jump. This series of inputs initially feels awkward, but trust me, your push through the awkwardness will be rewarded. From Bianco 4, to the ending of Sirena 2 Secrets, to the Pianta Village entry, to the advanced Pianta Village entry, which uses 2 spin jumps by the way. These things are everywhere. The last and easiest type of momentum spinning is the spraying spin jump. When Mario is using the spray nozzle, his turning radius is way larger. This allows the player to aim more accurately at things like Shadow Mario. A spin put is such a quick motion that it hardly affects the direction Mario is facing and allows him to maintain his speed as any momentum spin should. I say it's the easiest type because it doesn't require a specific spin speed like the walking spin and doesn't have any awkward inputs like the instant momentum spin. Just continue spraying, spin whatever speed you'd like, and press the big green button. This technique can similarly be done when charging up the rocket nozzle, which is great for momentum spinning into a rocket launch. Hey babe, can I take your picture and hang it on my wall? 'Cause I think you're frame perfect. In speedrunning and gaming in general, something that's frame perfect has precision down to a 1 frame timing window. A frame perfect spin is nothing more than a landing spin jump where your jump is timed on the first possible frame of landing. The faster Mario is traveling into a landing, the more it accentuates the frame perfectness. This stems from a mechanic where the faster Mario is moving horizontally, the higher his double jump can go. A common setup for frame perfect spins is out of a rollout. The height difference is pretty obvious when comparing jumps up to this rooftop. Frame perfect spins are never required anywhere in a speedrun, but they're ideal for saving time nonetheless. In Bianco Hills Episode 4, would you rather start like this? Or like this? There's only one area that comes to mind where a frame perfect spin is the difference between life and death, and that's the first Chuckster skip in the Pianta 5 secret level. This is so insanely risky that no one dares go for this in full game runs. To get the maximum benefit of a frame perfect spin, it's important that you ride out the spin jump and don't dive too early, since diving has a speed cap that's slower than you're already traveling. That's not to say that diving shouldn't be combined with spin jumps. Spinning on its own is an extremely versatile movement option that blows most other 3D Mario games' movements out of the water. Oh, what's that? Mario 64 has long jumping? Mario Galaxy has a little crab walk? Yo, Mario Odyssey has rolling? And fast rolling on top of that? And to do fast rolling, all I have to do is shake my Joy-Con like a goddamn maniac? Man, Sunshine's gonna have to bring out the big guns to compete with that. Oh, would you look at that? Spin jump diving. Normally, to do a big dive, you'd have to carefully concoct a large build-up to a triple jump dive of some sort. Mario Sunshine gives you the option to pull off a crazy big dive from nothing. Let's count the number of spin jump dives I use in the Noki 6 secret alone. The dive part of a spin jump dive is almost always done immediately, but in some scenarios, you'll want to remain spinning to clear a large gap, and then dive at the very end so it can still chain into a rollout. Buffered spin jump dives are great for getting that extra bit of heights for things like reaching the Shine Sprite and the Yoshi-Go-Round secrets, or hell, practically every jump when attempting a hoverless Corona Mountain. The over-the-shoulder camera and spinning can work in tandem. What was originally intended as a means of getting a close-up view of your surroundings is an amazing tool for altering the direction Mario is facing while airborne. This is known as a Y-turn, named after the button you press to enter this camera mode. Take, for instance, Noki 6 Reds. The optimal way to grab the 7th coin is with a buffered spin jump Y-turn from a ledge grab. Then you have Y-turn wall kicks. A spin jump combined with a Y-turn wall kick is a quick way to climb up to the Pianta Village entry. From what I've seen of newer players, the least intuitive part of this setup is with canceling Y mode properly. A wall kick cannot be done while the camera is zoomed in, so make sure you cancel Y mode right before wall kicking as soon as possible to maximize height gain. Of course, the ultimate spinning plus Y camera combo allows you to gain practically unlimited height. I say practically because every map has a maximum height limit, but for all intents and purposes, it's infinite. First, there's the easy version called Paper Kicks, named after the Paperario 1231. Find any corner where two walls are perpendicular to each other. Begin by doing a spin wall kick from the first wall. Y-turn at enough of an angle to begin sliding on the second wall, then Y-turn back to the original angle. Cancel Y-cam and wall kick back to the first wall. Rinse, repeat. Spinning lowers your falling acceleration, which minimizes height loss in every other wall kick. Oh look, the loading zone's missing. Now stop asking. Then there's the harder and more useful version called Kenny Kicks, named after the Kenny Cola. Paper Kicks rely on two perpendicular walls, but Kenny Kicks can be done from any single wall with a wide enough surface. Without the ability to spin, Kenny Kicks simply wouldn't exist. And yes, this is exactly as difficult as it looks. While we're on the topic of wall kicks, spinning into a wall has another interesting perk. If Mario is spinning, he has no way of grabbing a ledge, with the exception of sand blocks for some reason. This is handy for setting up a series of intricate wall kicks without the risk of possibly getting interrupted by a pesky ledge grab. Furthermore, spin jumping is the perfect lead up to a glitchy wall kick, which is exclusively used for clearing ledges that are barely out of reach without hovering or ledge grabbing. At one point or another, everyone who speedruns Mario Sunshine will go through a spin jump crisis. One day, maybe 1, 2, or even multiple years into running this game, spin jumps just decide they don't want to work every so often. Dropping spin puts sucks ass. The most important quality of a controller for playing SMS is a well-calibrated control stick. The worst part is that it's almost impossible to discern whether it's the fault of the controller or the player. A method I use to determine if my control stick is faulty is by running in a small circle. On the left is my preferred controller for playing SMS, and on the right is a different controller I had lying around somewhere. This comparison kinda sucks because I couldn't actually find a controller that had jagged circles, but I swear it can happen. In my past crises, I found that switching controllers or controller parts could work wonders. Whether or not the new control stick was actually better, let's just say placebo is a powerful thing. Now, for the miscellaneous other spins I haven't covered yet. As situational as the turbo nozzle tends to be, turbo spins are pretty sick. They go extremely high and are the only possible way to spin jump from a body of water. The turbo nozzle isn't quite as fast as a full-speed water slide, so the only possible larger spin jump is a landing spin after sliding off a ledge. Then we have Yoshi, whose spin jump is so busted, it completely breaks Rico Harbor Episode 8. They intend you to turn these cheap sheeps into platforms, but you can just jump from platform to platform instead. Not only is the initial spin jump quite large, it can be further extended with Yoshi's flutter ability. You can also do a landing spin off of mounting Yoshi. One of the most advanced techniques in Mario Sunshine is the butt slide spin jump. What is a butt slide? Well, exactly what it sounds like. Getting a proper butt slide. God, that sounds silly. Yes, oh yes, proper butt slide. Yes, very good. Getting a proper butt slide in the first place is difficult because in a secret stage, you're doing this from a rotating platform, meaning there's a specific level of slope that you need. Too shallow and nothing happens. Too steep and you fall right off. There's a small window where you can jump from a butt slide into a momentum normal jump. Adding a spin on top of all the other strict timing makes this possible. There's a variation of butt slides that's used in the individual level strategies of both Bianco 6 and Pinna 6 Secret. Think of it as a buffered butt slide because it's essentially a landing buffered spin except from a steep slope. In the Sunshine community, butt slide has become a catch-all term for any exceptionally difficult form of spin jump that carries slide momentum in some way. Even though it's the same idea as the Beyblade, well, the Beyblade is extremely easy and therefore undeserving of the prestigious butt title. If 20XX for Melee means Fox only, then 20XX for Sunshine means butt slides only. And that, ladies and gentlemen, covers just about everything. The spin jump in Super Mario Sunshine is the product of a bygone era where Nintendo didn't focus on gimmicks and marketability, but rather the quality of mechanics that their games had to offer. Granted, that strategy didn't do so well, but even now we can look back and appreciate these games for how well they still hold up. Pausing is weird, but spin jumps are awesome. If you're still listening, try to guess how many times I said the word spin in this video and comment below what you think it was. Alright, peace.